Jason Parker, who goes by Leinfors, works on quality assurance for Relogic. He didn't ask me anything on the Terraria Discord this week, and so I wanted to share with you all some of the more interesting questions and answers that were provided. If you're interested in reading the entire transcript of the AMA, I'm going to include a link to that in the video description below. This AMA featured a wide range of topics, ranging from the PC 1.3.6 patch to mobile 1.3 to the game's items and more. So without further ado, let's get into the AMA. Presumably this refers to the upcoming 1.3.6 patch, which the developers have said examines the game from top to bottom, adding polish and balance wherever it's really needed. So I'm not sure whether there'll actually ever be a more comprehensive review of balance than what we're going to get from 1.3.6, especially when you consider the hints of burnout that Redigit has mentioned in recent comments. So I don't know that this is entirely accurate, but I don't work for Relogic, so what do I know? Thankfully, Leinfors isn't the lead designer. I haven't really fooled around with mods, but I know that Calamity is certainly a big one, and there are, of course, others as well. So clearly he's not a fan, but I know a lot of people are. What the hell does that mean? They're playing it close to the vest in terms of this mobile 1.3, and I'm sure we're all equally frustrated at this point. I wish they would just come out and tell us some details. I don't think anyone would resent them for giving a fairly firm release date for the beta. But there you go, that's the answer we got. I can see it. What do you guys think? Seems a pretty clear reference to me. And although I'm looking back with rose-tinted glasses, I do think Darkwing Duck was a pretty solid kids' afternoon show, even though, as I remember, Disney did give it a ton of pre-release hype back in the early 90s. Guys, with all due respect for your questions, keep in mind Leinfors specializes in quality assurance. He's not a lead programmer. Proof that Leinfors is a masochist. Sounds draining. Much better to be counseling us Terraria addicts, right? A solid choice, and maybe this pins him down to being a 30-something. Final Fantasy is long in the tooth, but I have to admit it was pretty damn good for its day. I'm sure many of us have a ton of hours in Minecraft. I know I do. And if you're working quality assurance for Relogic, it certainly never hurts to study the competition, because Minecraft is definitely the competition. And I have to say, Minecraft does get a lot of things right, so studying it and playing it at length is probably a good idea. Hard to argue with that, although you've got to supplement it with something. I prefer Melee. I don't know what he uses. Leinfors' hate for mods confirmed. True, but isn't that what makes it so fun to try and get early on? I know I try to make a beeline for it if I start a new game. Well, good for him. I do like that people can still start on the ground floor and work their way up. It certainly isn't always the case in all companies, but it's good to hear that that's how it worked out for him. A truly diplomatic response. If you've ever visited the Terraria subreddit, you'll know that it's always featuring weird stuff like that. I haven't seen too much of that myself in person while playing, but it's certainly out there in a lot of world seeds. OP, but in the best way, especially when it's time to kill your first mechanical boss. Hey now, there's probably a market for that. For those unfamiliar with IPv6, I don't, of course, pretend to be an expert, but that's a network protocol, and so I guess that would mean there might be improved multiplayer performance if it were implemented. I don't know what platform or protocol is implemented at the moment. Did I miss something? Post a comment if you want and help me out. Was it the comment about the golden goldfish, or was it something else? I couldn't tell. I'm not really into the furniture stuff as much as some other people, so I don't know if that's already in the game. I think Minecraft and Terraria are like Coke and Pepsi. I don't know that they necessarily collaborate so much as coexist fairly peacefully. I did post a video a while back showing 3 Terraria plushies, so if you want to check out my video catalog on YouTube, and you'll find it pretty easily if you want to take a look at the size and quality of those things. It's never a bad stocking stuffer idea if Christmas is coming up, assuming that the person, of course, knows about Terraria. If they don't, then it's probably a pretty strange gift. Well, that's too bad. Let's hope. Now there's a tease if there ever was one. It's great, guys, but I can't tell you anything about it. And that really cuts to the bone, doesn't it? But there you have it, that's the answer. And then finally this. I'm sure, Leinfors, I'm sure. And so that's a summary of all the interesting questions and answers, at least by my interpretation. As I said, the video description is going to include a link to the transcript if you want to read through it. It doesn't take too long if you're curious. He writes stuff about favorite foods, some things about the game that are really just about his personal preferences, that sort of thing. So take a minute if you want, read it, but I think that covers all like the update type stuff, you know, the kind of thing I usually talk about in my videos. So that's that. I don't know whether other Relogic employees will be doing AMAs in the near future, but certainly if they do, I'll be sure to include another video covering each and every one of those because they are pretty interesting. So that's it. It's been a fairly quiet week in terms of Terraria updates. I'll keep an eagle eye out for anything new, but in the meantime, I suppose we just have to be patient and bear in mind within the next couple of weeks we'll have E3. And that'll be an avalanche of information. I think it's all but promised to us that something will be released, maybe a very big something will be announced at the E3 PC gaming show, so it remains to be seen. But my God, if they do release a teaser or some news about Terraria 2 or some follow-up game completely unrelated to Terraria, that'll certainly be very exciting. So we'll cover all of that. But again, thanks for watching. If you've stayed in this long, this is it. So I'll catch you guys next time. Have a good one.